Hi everyone, my name is Irene and I'm a CSUMB service learner here at the Monterey County Free Libraries. Today I'm going to be going over multiplication and division, more specifically how to do long multiplication and long division, both of which are super useful and important to familiarize yourself with, as you are not always going to have a calculator on hand and you're not always going to be allowed to use one. After you become familiar with multiplying or dividing smaller numbers like 8 times 8 and 3 times 10, or 9 divided by 3, you move on to bigger numbers. Now you're being asked to multiply numbers like 36 by 72 or 100 by 29. It might seem overwhelming at first, but we'll be breaking it down so you can get more comfortable approaching these numbers. First, we're going to be going over long multiplication. So, example number 1, 57 times 13. So, when it's written out like this, you're gonna change the way that it's formatted. So instead of having it written straight across, you're gonna stack them. So the big number goes on top, so 57 up here, and then little number goes on the bottom, 13 down here. When doing long multiplication problems, you're gonna start at the bottom right corner. So here we're gonna start with 3. And then we're going to multiply that out. So, first things first, we're going to multiply straight up. So, this is the direction we're going in. So, we're going to multiply 3 by 7. So, our answer is 21 for 3 times 7. So, we're going to write that down. So, the 1 goes down here, and we carry the 2, so it goes on top of the 5. So, we'll deal with the 2 in a bit. But right now, let's just move on. So the next thing that we're going to multiply is 3 by 5. So we're going to go in this direction. So 5 times 3. So our answer is 15. And so now that we have that figured out, what do we do with the 2? So we actually add the 2 to 15. And this is like what you're going to do whenever you have this type of problem. So if there is something that is carried over, you're going to add that to the numbers you're multiplying diagonally. So in this case, it was 15, and then we had the 2 carried over, and we're going to add that to 15. So that is going to be 17. So we just write that down. So now we do the same thing that we did to the 3 and multiply it diagonally and straight up. So 1 times 7, that is 7. 1 times 5, that's just 5. So let's just add those together, and we're going to get 1, 14. So carry the 1, and then 5 plus 1, that's 6, and then just add the 1 that you carried, and that's 7. So our answer is 741. And before we move on, because I forgot to say this before, but we have the 0 here because we're multiplying by a multiple of 10. So we have 57 and 13, so those are multiples of 10. And that is why we have a 0 here as kind of this placeholder. And I chose this second example because we're going to see how placeholders work when we're multiplying even bigger numbers. So this is going to involve a couple more placeholders, and we'll see how that works out. So example number 2, 332 times 146. And as we know now, we start from the bottom right corner. So we're going to start with 6. So 6 times 2, that is 12. So we put our 2 here and we carry our little 1. So then we go diagonally and we go 6 times 3, and that is 18. But remember, we have to add the 1, so that is actually going to be 19. So 19 here, and carry the 1 from the 19 onto the next digit. And so we go even further diagonally, and so 6 times 3, we just did that, so that was 18. But this time we're going to add the 1, and we're going to get 19 again. But this time we can write the entire number out on the bottom. So 1992. And now we add our first placeholder. because we're multiplying from the tenths place. And so now we're going to start with our second part of the problem, and that is where we multiply 4 to the numbers on the top. So we have 4 times 2 first, and so that is 8. So we can just write 8 down here, and then we have to go up next. So 4 times 3, that is 12. So we put our 2 down here and carry our 1. Next, we multiply 4 to this 3, and we know that 4 times 3 is 12, but this time we can add the 1 that's carried, so that is just going to be 13. And now, because we're going to be multiplying from our hundreds place, we're going to add 2 zeros. And then let's just multiply it out. So 1 times 2, and then that is just 2. 1 times 3, that's just 3. 1 times 3 again, that is just 3. So this is where we're going to add all together. And so let's just add it all together now. So 2 can go straight down. 9 plus 8, that is 17. So we carry our 1 up here. And then so 9 plus 1, that's 10. And then we can add 4. And that can make 14. And carry our 1 again. And then we have 3 plus 3, 6. And then add the 2 ones that are on top, and that's 8. And 3 plus 1, that's 4. So our answer is 48,472. The next thing we're going to look at is long division. So example number 1, 125 divided by 5. So we set it up in this format here on the right. And we're going to take this problem one digit at a time. So how many times does 5 go into 1? And this wording might be a little bit confusing because you might think, oh, are they asking me how many ones are in a 5? Are they asking me to divide 1 by 5? And that's not what they're asking. They're asking how many whole 5s go into a single 1. And the answer for that is 0. If just looking at the first digit isn't going to help us, we move further right. So we are going to move 1 space to the right, and we get 12. So how many 5s go into 12? Well, 2 5s is 10, and 3 5s is 15. So only 2 5s can fit into 12. So we're going to write that down. So up here, we're going to write that 2 5s could basically go into 12. And what are 2 5s? That's just 10. So we're going to write 10 down here. And what you do here is you subtract these numbers. So 1 minus 1, that's 0. 2 minus 0, that's 2. And you bring down this last digit, and that's 5. So how many times does 5 go into 25? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, so 5 goes into 25 5 times. And so our answer is here. So first, we're going to work that out. So how many times does that go into 25? Well, 5 times. So 25 here, 0, 0. We're not left with the remainder, and we're going to write that 5 up here. So 125 divided by 5 is just 25, and that is our answer. For our second example, we're going to be dividing 84 by 3. So it's already set up, so let's just get straight to it. How many times does 3 go into 8? So let's think about that for a second. How many 3s can go into 8? Well, 2 3s is 6, and that fits. 3 3s, that's 9. And 2 3s is what fits into 8 perfectly. So we're going to use that. So we put the 2 up here and we put 6 down here. And what we do is just subtract. So 8 minus 6, 2, and we bring this 4 down. And so we get 24. So now we're going to try to figure out how many times 3 can go into 24. So 24, 8 times 3 is 24. So it can go into 24 8 times. So we put 8 up here, and then we put 24 down here. So we subtract that, 0, 0, and we're left with 28. So 84 divided by 3 is 28. Here are 2 problems you can try on your own. I will be showing how you can solve these, but I think you should definitely try first. So you can go ahead and pause the video to work this out. And that is going to be it for this video. I hope after watching this video, moving forward, you are a bit more comfortable and confident in your ability to approach these types of problems.